All right, I want to talk about depression. I was just talking to a friend about his depression. He don't really know how to break his cycle. I think one of the biggest things though when it comes to being depressed is knowing, because what I noticed about him is he got a routine of cutting people off. He don't reply to texts like that. He ain't posting on his Snapchat. It's just certain things that he stops doing that he normally likes to do that gives me the red flag that, oh, my bro is depressed. You know what I'm saying? So, to the people that's depressed and deal with depression, and it's not easy to beat because I see how it affects people, but it is a routine. And when you see yourself when you notice that you're starting to do things that you only do when you're depressed, like maybe miss meals, maybe not shower, maybe be lazy at work or in your regular life. If you like the video game like my bro do, but you're not playing and you're not getting online in the group chat, we know something's wrong. You know what I'm saying? So like when you know that you're not doing the things that normally you love to do, you have to know internally something's going on with yourself. And at that point, you got to start focusing on what the routine is. This is my perspective, and this is my advice when it comes to just dealing with depression and slipping into it. Because it's not like, maybe for some people you can't just wake up depressed. But I feel like a lot of the times, it's really your mind, bro. It's like you got so much going on, whatever it is, that it's starting to weigh you down. Hence the word depressed. You're depressed. You're pressed down, right? And it's like weighing you down to the point that depression kicks in. Like it's based around poor coping mechanisms, but also a routine that empowers the depression from my perspective. I feel like when you don't try to counteract the habits that you commit to when you're depressed, you only feed depression. So if you know that sitting in your room alone is in that isolation is going to feed those thoughts, you need to put yourself in public. You need to put yourself around friends, family, your companion, your dog, your cat. You need to go for a walk in the park. This is when you need to do the exact opposite of what your depression and what your mind is telling you to do, bro. When you know that, like, you're not as hungry or engaging in conversation, make yourself engage in conversation. Make yourself eat your food because you know this is your mind controlling you, bro. Like, recognize the routine. That would be my biggest perspective on depression. It's like, it is a chemical imbalance. It is a real thing. I'm not going to do that to the people who deal with it for real, but it's also a routine. If you really look at what depressed people do, I mean, it's different it varies. It does vary, because not everybody copes the same with their depression. But like, if you look at yourself, every human has a routine, period. You have a routine. So I know that. So this is how I'm able to look at depression and say, when your depression is kicking in, and it might not apply for you, but when your depression is kicking in, there's a routine that follows. And when you peep your routine, you can start implementing new things inside of that routine that kind of shift the trajectory of your depression, of that said energy, bro. Sometimes when people dealing with their depression, bro, I feel like it's a culmination of life, poor coping mechanisms, and that's basically it. But it's your mind. It's past, not living in the present, and living in the future. So you're living in the past and the future presently. And presently, you're not being present enough. Therefore, you start to feel this stress, which then starts to weigh you down. It starts to depress you. You have to figure out how to alleviate the stressors in your life. I'm not trying to be a hypocrite. I get stressed, right? I've been sad before, probably dealt with depression before, but not to the point where it's like an everyday battle, though. I'm just saying, like, I think everybody on the planet has experienced these emotions. I'm not going to count myself out of that equation. I'm pretty sure, you know what I mean? There have been multiple times, the death in the family, bad breakups, yada, yada, yada. We've all felt depressed, but it's about it's really how you cope and what your routine is in that depression. If you're still doing positive things and putting yourself in positive environments, you don't have time for your mind to be idle in the devil's playground. Thus, you're starting to think negative thoughts, demonic thoughts, and maybe do something crazy like hurt yourself, somebody else, or whatever it is. Quit your job, get into a fight, car accident, wreck your bike, drunk. Who knows how you're going to cope from your depression and how you're coping from the negative things that are in your life. All I know is I feel like with enough, if you bear enough witness to the issue, you can see what where the problem lies, and you can then start to build great walls like the Great Wall of China around this weakness. Therefore, you don't have to fall over that wall, right? Because you got enough pillars up that's keeping you from falling over. And you just got to figure out how to build that wall for your circumstances, like for your mental situation, seriously, for your spirit in that point in time. This might not be the best advice. This advice might not count for everybody, but like when it comes to the friends that I have, and some of them that actually battle depression, I've noticed that they won't play their game. They won't get in group chats. They won't reply to a text all day or the next day. They won't go out to eat like they normally do. They won't get high, smoke a blunt or whatever with their boys. It's just certain things that they just won't do, bro. And you know that they're dealing with something. And like when you're a true friend, a true companion to somebody, a true family member to somebody, like you spend enough time with them where you actually have a relationship. It's not just a title. You'll start to learn people. And when you learn people, you know, I would just suggest be a good companion, be a good family member, be a good friend. Let them know what you notice, because you never know how they're going to cope. And let them know that, you understand, you can imagine what they're dealing with, and that there are other ways around coping with it, with this problem. And this is for the people who are depressed and for the people who don't have depression, but know people who are depressed. It's both. Like, we need more people who like have enough information and life experience, you know what I'm saying, with people who deal with depression and isolate themselves. We need more people out here speaking on that, you know what I mean, for the people who don't know how to cope with their depression, and vice versa. The people with depression need more people speaking on how they overcame their depression, how they snap out of the cycle. We need more people sharing information like this. Like, I'm a witness, and I take this subject very seriously because I know some people that have killed themselves, like straight up. I mean, I know some people that used to be cutters, self-harm type stuff. Like, it's just weird, and not weird because it's your coping mechanism. I'm not judging you, but it's messed up what depression will compel people to do when they don't have a healthy community of people around them to maybe stop them from choosing a negative action. And it's messed up what depression will do to somebody's mind and perspective in general. Like, they just won't see the light. And I just want to give a healthy perspective on this one. Observe, right? Report, implement, change. Try to fight back. I love you. I'm out.